Some of you have been through hell and high water. You've cried silent tears that nobody saw. You've walked into rooms smiling while your soul was breaking into 1,000 pieces. But hear me tonight. You did not break, you bent, you did not break. That is the testimony of a woman who has been kissed by storms but carried by God. That's the kind of strength the enemy can't figure out, the kind of endurance hell cannot destroy. Because when God plants his spirit in a woman, no storm can uproot what heaven has anchored. Somebody shout, I refuse to break. When the storm comes, it does not come to ask your permission. It does not knock on the door politely. It blows the door off the hinges. It does not whisper your name. It screams and howls with winds that threaten to tear you apart. Hear me, just because the storm comes into your life does not mean it has the power to define you. It does not get the last word. It does not write the ending of your story. The storm, my sister, my brother, is simply the stage on which your true strength is revealed. You never really know who you are until the rain pours, until the thunder shakes, until the lightning flashes. Everybody looks strong on a sunny day. Strength is not proven when the skies are blue. Strength is proven when the winds rage, and yet you refuse to collapse. Think about a palm tree. Have you ever seen one in a hurricane? It bends so far you think it will snap in two. You almost feel sorry for it, watching it lean and bow under the pressure of the storm. But when the winds die down, when the sky's clear, that tree straightens back up. And the secret is the storm made its roots go deeper. That is you. You may bend, you may cry, you may feel the weight of the winds beating against you, but when it's over, you will discover your roots have gone deeper, your faith has stretched wider, and your courage has grown stronger. The storm didn't define you. It revealed the depth of what was already in you. Look at a soldier. You can dress a man in a uniform, polish his boots, pin his medals. You don't really know if he's a warrior until the battle begins. The war reveals what the training hid. And so it is with you. Life's battles reveal the fighter inside you. That divorce that almost took you out, that financial struggle that left you awake at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling, that sickness that had you sitting in waiting rooms praying for answers, those were not sent to define you as broken or weak. They were sent to reveal that you are tougher than you thought, wiser than you believed, and more resilient than you imagined. A diamond is nothing more than a piece of coal that went through pressure it did not ask for, pressure so intense, so crushing, that it changed its very nature. When the pressure lifted, what was once black and common became clear, brilliant, and rare. Do you see it? Your storm is the pressure, and you are the diamond. You thought the weight of it was going to kill you, but the truth is, it was transforming you. The storm does not get to define you as crushed, it reveals you as valuable. A woman who has raised children with no help working 2 jobs, crying in the bathroom before walking out with a smile, she has been through storms. And yet, when her children grow, they look back and say, Mama was strong, not because she never cried, not because she never worried, but because the storm revealed her perseverance. Bills stacked up, but the lights stayed on. The tears fell, but the home stayed intact. That storm didn't define her as defeated. It revealed her as resilient. A man who loses his business, who watches everything he built collapse overnight, may feel like the storm has labeled him a failure. But when he gets back up, when he starts again, when he takes the lessons of the loss and uses them as bricks to build again, that storm reveals him as a visionary, as a fighter, as someone who knows how to rise from ashes. Failure did not define him. It revealed a grit inside of him that success never could. And sometimes storms come not in finances or sickness, but in loneliness. Have you ever felt the storm of isolation? Everyone leaves, the phone grows silent, your circle shrinks, and you feel forgotten. The temptation is to believe that this loneliness defines you as unwanted. The storm is not here to tell you that you're unworthy. It's here to reveal that you are whole even when alone, that you can stand without applause. You can find God's voice in the silence when no one else is around. The storm didn't define you as abandoned. It revealed you as anchored. Even Jesus faced a storm on the boat when the winds blew and the disciples panicked. Jesus slept, and when they woke him, he rose and spoke, "Peace, be still." That storm did not define him as helpless, it revealed him as master. And in your storm, heaven is waiting to reveal the authority, the endurance, the divine strength that was already inside of you. So the next time life comes with thunder in its voice and rain in its fists, remember this: the storm is not the author of your story, it is the stage for your revelation. It cannot label you, it cannot destroy you, it cannot define you. It can only expose the power God planted in you long before the clouds gathered. Because the truth is, the storm never decides who you are. It only uncovers the strength you already carry. There are moments in life when you feel shattered into 1,000 pieces. Moments when you look at yourself and wonder, how do I go on from here? The job you poured years into lets you go without warning. Marriage you thought would last forever ends in silence and papers on the table. The loved one you leaned on is suddenly gone. In those moments, you feel broken, but hear me, though broken doesn't mean finished. Being cracked does not mean you've lost your worth. Broken state is not the same as a final state. Sometimes being broken is the very thing that makes you usable in God's hands. Think about a seed. You take that tiny seed, bury it in dirt, cover it in darkness, and wait. But nothing grows until that seed first breaks open. It has to be split apart for life to come forth. If you saw the seed cracking, you might think it was being destroyed, but in reality, it was releasing the potential inside. That is you. The heartbreak, the disappointment, the betrayal, it may have split you open, but it also released something hidden within you that never could have come out if you had stayed whole and untouched. Broken doesn't mean you're finished. It means something new is about to grow. Consider a piece of pottery. When it falls and breaks, the world says it's ruined. But in Japanese culture, practice something called kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. They don't hide the cracks. They don't pretend it was never broken. Fill the cracks with gold so that the flaws become the most beautiful part of the piece. Some of you are walking around ashamed of your cracks, embarrassed by your scars, trying to glue yourself together in secret. But God says, I will use the cracks to shine my glory through you. Your brokenness is not your burial ground. It's the place where God pours his gold. Have you ever used a pencil? When the lead inside breaks, you don't throw away the pencil, you sharpen it. The breaking makes it ready to be used again. And maybe that's what's happening in your life right now. The setback didn't come to end you, it came to sharpen you. That relationship that ended, failure that knocked the wind out of you, that season that left you feeling small, it didn't mean you were finished. It meant you were being sharpened for a greater purpose. A stained glass window is made of broken pieces, yet when they are arranged and placed together, they create something breathtaking. And when the light shines through, it's the cracks and colors that make the image come alive. Maybe that's why life allowed you to be broken in certain places, so that when the light of God shines through you, it creates a masterpiece that inspires everyone who sees it. Your brokenness is the canvas for beauty. Think about a woman who has been through a painful divorce. She feels shattered, convinced her life story has ended. But then she uses her experience to start helping other women heal, to start a business, to raise her children with strength she didn't even know she had. The brokenness didn't finish her. It redirected her, repurposed her, and made her stronger. Imagine a man who loses his career after decades of work. For a while, he feels like a failure. But then, out of that brokenness, he finds a passion he never would have pursued otherwise. He becomes an entrepreneur, a mentor, a voice to others who are struggling. Brokenness didn't mean he was finished. It meant God was about to write a new chapter. There are parents who have buried children and thought life could not possibly continue. Yet even in that grief, even in that unspeakable pain, many have built foundations, started movements, or raised awareness that has blessed countless lives. Their brokenness became a testimony. Their pain became a platform. Their loss became a seed that birthed something powerful. Look at the life of Joseph in the Bible. Betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, falsely accused and imprisoned. His life was a picture of brokenness. If you had met him in the pit or in the prison, you might have thought his story was over, but the pit didn't finish him. The prison didn't finish him. Those broken seasons revealed the leader inside of him. He rose to power in Egypt, saving nations from famine. What looked like the end was really the preparation for his destiny. Or consider Jesus himself. His body was broken on the cross. The nails pierced his hands. Thorns pierced his head. His side was opened. If you had been standing at Calvary, you might have thought it was finished. That broken body produced resurrection power that shook the earth and changed eternity. His brokenness was not the end. It was the beginning of victory. So when you look at the broken pieces of your own life, the failed business, the betrayal, the sickness, the grief, don't let the enemy whisper that you are finished. Those cracks are evidence that you have been through something. They are also evidence that something greater is still coming forth. Broken does not mean discarded. Broken does not mean useless. Broken simply means that God has another way to shine through you, another way to mold you, another way to reveal your strength to the world. There are some prayers that cannot be spoken with words. There are some groanings too deep to form a sentence. There are nights when the weight is so heavy that your lips tremble, but no language comes out. And in those moments, heaven has given you a gift. Your tears. For her tears are not weakness. They are not shame. They are not wasted drops of pain. Her tears are prayers in liquid form, carrying messages from the depths of her soul straight to the throne of God. When a woman cries, she is not falling apart. She is opening a channel between her heart and heaven. Think about Hannah in the scriptures. She couldn't find the words to explain her anguish, but she sat in the temple weeping bitterly. The priest thought she was drunk because she wasn't speaking with clarity, but heaven understood her tears. Those tears became the prayer that birthed a prophet named Samuel. You see, her tears were not ignored. They were not wasted. They were the very language that moved God to answer. Every tear that slides down your cheek has a voice. Heaven knows how to translate it. Consider a mother holding her child in the hospital, watching machines beep and doctors rush. She doesn't have the strength to form a long prayer. She doesn't know what words to use. All she can do is cry, and yet those tears streaming down her face as she clutches her baby's hand are prayers in liquid form. They are cries of love, of desperation, of faith. And many times, it is those silent prayers that heaven honors the loudest. Think about the woman who works 2 jobs trying to make ends meet, coming home late at night with aching feet. She lays her head on the pillow, wipes her eyes, and whispers nothing but tears into the darkness. Nobody sees, nobody hears, but those tears rise up like incense. They are prayers for strength to get up tomorrow, for provision she cannot see, for hope to hold on. Those tears are not weakness. They are the proof of her resilience. A woman betrayed by someone she trusted may cry in silence behind closed doors. Friends might think she's strong because she smiles in public, but only God sees the tears soaking her pillow. Those tears are not just sorrow. They are a conversation with the Almighty. They are saying, heal me, restore me, teach me how to forgive. And God, who bottles every tear, does not ignore them. Her tears are like sacred ink writing her pain into heaven's record, and in due time, God responds. Have you ever seen a father cry over his family? Maybe he doesn't say much, maybe he holds it all in. In those rare moments when his eyes well up with tears, those drops are prayers too. They are prayers of protection, prayers of surrender, prayers of gratitude. The world may say tears are weakness, but in reality, tears are strength. They prove that your heart is still tender enough to feel and still alive enough to believe. Think about a student who has failed again and again, studying late nights, pouring effort into books, and still falling short. Alone in their room, they cry. Those tears are not wasted. They are prayers for perseverance, prayers for understanding, prayers for a breakthrough. And often it is after the season of tears that the breakthrough finally comes. Sometimes tears are the only language left when you don't know how to explain the ache inside. A grieving widow stands at the graveside unable to speak. Her tears sliding down her face are not just grief, they are prayers for comfort, prayers for courage to walk into a life she never expected, prayers for God to hold her when no one else can. Those tears are not empty. They rise like a river toward heaven. Even Jesus himself wept. Standing at the tomb of Lazarus, though he knew resurrection was coming, his tears fell. Why? Because tears are a holy form of prayer, an expression of love and compassion that words cannot carry. If the Son of God could cry and have his tears honored, how much more will your tears be understood? There are women who pray without ever folding their hands, who cry while stirring pots in the kitchen, who wipe tears in the car after dropping their children at school, who whisper prayers in liquid form on their morning commute. There are men who hide in bathrooms, letting tears fall where no one can see, thinking it makes them weak. Those tears are saying more than their lips could ever frame. They are saying, Lord, I need you. Lord, I trust you. Lord, can't do this without you. Your tears are a language that bypasses grammar, bypasses eloquence, and goes straight to the heart of God. They are prayers in liquid form, and heaven hears every one of them. They carry your pain, your longing, your worship, your faith. And though the world may wipe them away as insignificant, God saves them in his bottle, as scripture says, because he knows that sometimes the deepest prayers are the ones you never spoke, only cried. Strength is not measured by how easy your path has been. Strength is not defined by the absence of pain, or the lack of obstacles, or the privilege of a smooth road. Real strength shows up when the battle is fierce, when the struggle is relentless, when the weight feels unbearable, and yet you keep moving forward. Strength is not the absence of struggle, it is the refusal to surrender. If you never had to fight, if you never had to cry, if you never had to wrestle with doubt or fear, nobody would ever know the warrior living inside of you. Struggle is the very thing that reveals your strength. Think about a butterfly. Before it spreads its wings, it fights inside a cocoon. If you cut the cocoon open and release it, the butterfly would die. Why? Because it is the very struggle to push out of the cocoon that gives its wings the strength to fly. The cocoon is not punishment. It is preparation. The pressure is what makes flight possible, and so it is with you. The job loss, the rejection, the heartbreak, the sickness, it wasn't designed to destroy you. It was designed to give you wings. You didn't get strong because you avoided the cocoon. You got strong because you refused to surrender inside of it. Think about a single mother raising children on her own. Every day is a battle, waking up early, working long hours, stretching a paycheck that never seems to stretch far enough. Sometimes she cries in the shower so nobody else sees. But still, she gets up the next morning and does it all over again. That is strength, not because life is easy for her, but because life is hard and she keeps showing up. She refuses to surrender. That's what strength looks like in the real world. Consider an athlete training for the Olympics. The early mornings, the bruises, the exhaustion, the failures in practice that nobody claps for. If you watch them struggle, you might think they're weak. That struggle is the birthplace of their greatness. Strength is not found in the medal ceremony. It is found in the hours when they refuse to quit in the gym, when their body screamed stop and their mind screamed go. The glory people admire is built in the struggle people don't see. Student trying to graduate after failing exams more than once may feel humiliated, but if that student gets back up, studies again, and refuses to quit, that is strength. Not because the struggle disappeared, but because they refused to surrender to it. Many of the world's greatest leaders, inventors, pioneers failed repeatedly before they succeeded. They didn't rise because the road was smooth. They rose because the road was hard. They kept walking anyway. Look at a cancer patient in chemotherapy. Hair falling, body weak, appetite gone, but spirit alive. Person walks into the hospital and says, "Hook me up, let's go again." That is strength. The sickness didn't vanish overnight. Pain didn't magically lift, but the refusal to surrender keeps them alive inside. Sometimes strength is not shouting on the mountain. Sometimes strength is whispering, "I will not give up," while crawling through the valley. Think about a couple fighting to hold their marriage together. They go through counseling, they argue, they struggle to understand each other, but they keep choosing to try. That is strength. Because they never faced conflict, but because in the face of conflict, they refused to surrender their love. Struggle is the furnace, and strength is the gold that comes out of it. Even a tree proves this truth. Have you ever noticed how the strongest trees grow in the windiest places? The roots go deep because the winds were strong. If the tree never faced resistance, it would topple over at the first sign of trouble. Because it wrestled with the wind year after year, it stands firm. Your struggles are the winds that are anchoring your roots. Your battles are the reason you will not fall when others collapse. Even in Scripture, we see this. Jacob wrestled all night with the angel. He walked away limping, yes, but he also walked away blessed. The struggle gave him a new name, a new identity, and a new destiny. Paul prayed for his thorn to be removed, but God said, "My grace is sufficient for you. Strength is made perfect in weakness." Strength is revealed not when the thorn is gone, but when you keep moving with the thorn still there. So when people look at you and wonder how you keep going, remind them strength is not the absence of struggle, it is the refusal to surrender. It's when you cry but still believe, when you fall but still rise, when you're tired but still press on. The world may see your scars and call you broken. Heaven sees your scars and calls you strong. You have walked through the storm. You have felt the breaking. You have cried the tears. You have wrestled the struggle, and yet you are still here. That alone is evidence that God's hand has not left you, that heaven has not turned its back, that destiny has not skipped over your name. Every scar on your soul is proof that you survived something that was meant to bury you. Every line on your face is a map of battles fought and won. Do not despise what you've been through, because it is the very thing that qualifies you to step into what's coming next. You are not finished. You are not forgotten enough. You are not forsaken. You are being prepared for the kind of future that only fighters inherit. Let me tell you something. Lions are not crowned in quiet meadows. Lions are crowned after the roar, after the fight, after the blood and sweat and survival of the hunt. And you, beloved, have the roar of a lion inside you. The storm thought it could silence you, but all it did was give your voice more power. The tears thought they could drown you. All they did was water the seed of your destiny. The struggle thought it could break you. All it did was reveal that you are unbreakable when God is on your side. Some of you need to hear this today. You are stronger than you think, braver than you believe, and tougher than anything that has ever come against you. Life may have handed you blows, but you are still swinging. May have knocked you down, but you are still rising. Life may have put you through nights of pain, but every sunrise proves you have another chance. As long as breath is in your body, there is still fight in your spirit. And as long as God sits on the throne, there is still purpose in your path. You cannot quit now. You cannot give up here. You have come too far to walk away empty-handed. Do not let your present struggle convince you that your future victory is canceled. Do not let your current pain blind you from the promise that is waiting just beyond it. Sometimes God allows you to walk through fire not to burn you, but to prove to you that the fire cannot consume what He has covered. Sometimes God allows you to be pushed to the edge so that you can discover you were meant to fly. Look at yourself, not the broken version, not the defeated version, but the survivor standing in front of the mirror. You are the storm chaser. You are the tear shedder. You are the warrior who refused to bow. And the very fact that you are still standing after everything you've endured is heaven's announcement that your story is still unfolding. Do not mistake delay for denial. Do not mistake pain for punishment. Do not mistake the struggle for the end. Every step you have taken, every tear you have cried, every battle you have fought has been shaping you for this moment. There will come a day when you will look back and realize that the storm was your training ground, the breaking was your birthing place, tears were your worship, and the struggle was your crown. And on that day you will declare with your whole heart, I did not break, I did not quit, I did not surrender. I fought, I endured, I rose, and I conquered. Because greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world. Because no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Because though I walked through the valley of the shadow of death, I feared no evil. Because I knew that if God be for me, who could be against me? So lift your head, straighten your back, square your shoulders. Walk out of this season with fire in your eyes and steel in your spirit. Let the world know storms cannot stop me, brokenness cannot define me. Tears cannot silence me, and struggle cannot break me. I am still here, I am still standing, and I am still moving forward. And if I made it through all of that, then there is absolutely nothing ahead of me that can hold me down.